What if your brain could no longer tell reality from imagination? Thoughts, dreams, and memories could blur into one seamless experience. Scientists suggest that altering the neural circuit separating perception and imagination might not be pure science fiction, and the consequences could rewrite everything we understand about consciousness and daily life. The brain's reality-imagination circuit, how it normally works. The brain separates reality from imagination through intricate neural circuits. The prefrontal cortex plays a crucial role in evaluating whether a perception originates externally or internally. Sensory inputs travel through the thalamus, which filters relevant information, while the default mode network generates spontaneous thought and mental imagery. These systems collaborate to ensure we experience the world accurately, keeping fantasies distinct from external stimuli. Neurotransmitters like dopamine and glutamate modulate the intensity of internal simulations. When functioning normally, this circuit allows humans to dream vividly, plan creatively, and innovate without confusing invented ideas with real events. Understanding this mechanism not only illuminates conscious awareness, but also provides insight into conditions where real perception is compromised, such as in schizophrenia, hallucinations, or lucid dreaming states. Neuroscience behind perception and imagination. Perception and imagination engage overlapping brain regions, but their functions differ. Perception relies on the sensory cortex, integrating external signals like sight, sound, and touch to construct a coherent representation of reality. Imagination, in contrast, activates the default mode network, generating internal scenarios without sensory input. Functional MRI studies reveal that imagining an event triggers neural pathways similar to actually experiencing it, demonstrating the brain's simulation capacity. Neurochemicals like acetylcholine enhance attention during perception, while dopamine fuels creativity and spontaneous thought. The interplay between these systems enables humans to predict outcomes, solve problems, and innovate. Disruptions in this balance can lead to hallucinations, vivid dreams, or difficulty distinguishing memories from fantasies. Neuroscientists are exploring these circuits to understand consciousness, mental illness, and the limits of cognitive flexibility, showing how perception and imagination are two sides of the same neurological coin. What happens when the circuit is reversed? Reversing the brain's reality-imagination circuit would blur the line between external events and internal thoughts. Sensory inputs might be misinterpreted as fantasies, while imagined scenarios could feel indistinguishable from actual experiences. This could cause constant uncertainty as the brain struggles to label perceptions correctly. Individuals might act on imagined events, believing them real, resulting in erratic behavior or social confusion. Memory systems could encode fantasies as factual experiences, altering personal history. Studies of neurological disorders hint at partial versions of this phenomenon, where hallucinations or false memories dominate perception. Such a reversal would challenge the brain's predictive coding, undermining decision-making and risk assessment. Over time, the mind might adapt, but the initial impact could be profound, creating a reality where creativity and delusion coexist, forcing a re-evaluation of what humans consider trustworthy evidence and factual truth. Impact on dreams and waking life. If the circuit were reversed, dreams could spill into waking life, with vivid nighttime scenarios perceived as actual events. Sleep experiences might become indistinguishable from daytime reality, complicating memory and perception. Daily activities could be influenced by dream logic, causing unexpected reactions to ordinary stimuli. Individuals might recall imaginary conversations as factual, reshaping relationships and personal history. Creative output could soar as imagined solutions feel tangible, but this comes with increased risk of confusion. Routine tasks, such as crossing streets or handling finances, may require additional cognitive effort to verify reality. Emotional responses might amplify as dreams evoke real fear, joy, or anxiety. Effects on memory and decision-making. Memory systems rely on distinguishing real events from imagined ones. Reversing this mechanism could cause fantasies to be stored as facts, leading to distorted autobiographical memory. People may confidently recall events that never occurred, undermining trust in personal experience. Decision-making would become unreliable, as choices rely on accurate past knowledge. Misattribution of imagined outcomes to reality could result in risk-prone behavior or excessive caution, depending on the nature of internal thoughts. Problem-solving might feel enhanced due to the brain perceiving creative simulations as actionable, but the boundary between effective planning and delusion would collapse. Studies on false memories indicate the brain's susceptibility to blending imagined and real events, and reversing the circuit would magnify this effect. Behavioral and emotional consequences. Behavior would likely shift dramatically under a reversed circuit. People might act on internal fantasies, mistaking them for real threats or opportunities, which could provoke social misunderstandings. Emotional responses could intensify, as imagined events trigger real fear, excitement, or grief. Interpersonal relationships might suffer, since imagined interactions could feel authentic. Creativity and playfulness may reach new heights, but anxiety and paranoia could escalate. Habits dependent on reality, such as work routines or navigation, might require conscious verification. Mental health risks could increase, including hallucinations, delusions, or dissociation, demanding adaptive coping strategies. Society itself could be affected if multiple individuals experience reality and imagination interchangeably, challenging norms, laws, and trust. Potential technological or medical applications. Understanding and manipulating this circuit could revolutionize neuroscience, AI, and therapy. Controlled modulation might enhance creativity, problem-solving, or memory recall, allowing people to experience vivid simulations safely. Therapeutically, it could treat PTSD or phobias by altering how memories are encoded or imagined. In virtual reality, brain-machine interfaces could exploit this mechanism to create fully immersive experiences, indistinguishable from reality. Ethical applications could include learning acceleration, mental rehearsal for athletes or surgeons, and cognitive enhancement. However, risks include delusion, addiction, or social disruption, demanding strict protocols. Research into non-invasive brain stimulation and neurofeedback could allow partial modulation of the circuit. Such technologies may blur the line between imagination and reality intentionally, opening new frontiers for human potential, entertainment, and mental health, while raising profound questions about consciousness and personal identity. What is reality, anyway? If the brain could no longer differentiate imagination from reality, philosophical concepts of truth, identity, and existence would be challenged. The distinction between subjective and objective experience would blur, questioning the reliability of perception and memory. Ethical dilemmas could arise if imagined actions carry perceived consequences. Human understanding of cause and effect might shift, influencing law, morality, and social norms. Consciousness itself would become a mutable construct, as the line between thought and external world dissolves. Philosophers have long debated whether reality is a mental construct. Reversing this circuit would test these ideas experimentally, forcing society to reconsider notions of free will, responsibility, and authenticity. Ultimately, such a scenario would redefine what it means to live, act, and know, challenging humanity to navigate a world where the boundaries of imagination and reality no longer exist. If the line between imagination and reality vanished, life as we know it would transform in ways we can barely grasp. Could humanity handle a world where thoughts shape existence itself, or would we lose the very meaning of what is real? Thanks for watching.